looking at an offer to purchase, what is important in that offer to purchase? Because we end up signing on these offer to purchases not understanding what needs to be there and what needs not to be there. Now, as a property investor, I can actively say that right now, property investors are putting in some clause that will protect them before they actually go into the deal. So I'll give you one clause, right? We as the seller gave the buyer ample time to come through and check what's wrong on the property.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if someone signs on that and you only came for the viewing, guess what? If there's a leakage that's going on somewhere, that's on you. If, say for instance, there's a tile that broke and because you were really excited on the day when you were signing the offer to purchase, you didn't come through and check that particular crack.
Yeah.
Now the thing is on your side. Now the question is, as a property investor, what are we putting on these contracts that actually bind you? So I'll give you an example how this works. If I'm flipping a property, I'm going to be buying a property that's really old, right?
Yeah.
And with old properties, something that you have to bear in mind is that there are other defects that you can't really see, right?
With your naked eye.
And now, as a property investor, I'm not necessarily living in this property. As a property investor, I'm just coming through, I'm seeing or identifying the problems where they are, and then I'm fixing and then I'm reselling. So what ends up happening sometimes is that, say for instance, there was a leakage and it wasn't spotted or I didn't actually see that leakage. And it happens that I fix that leakage, right? And I think that I fixed that leakage. I paint on the ceiling, right? If the leakage actually persists and I have actually put in that clause that I gave the seller ample time to come through and check on this property.
Yeah.
Now I have actually distanced myself to anything that might be wrong on the property.
Yeah.
So how we'd combat that is that if we see that clause, automatically in my head, it's going to ring that something's wrong on the property.
Yeah.
So I'll get someone to actually come through and inspect the whole property.
Yeah.
Right? So that guy will actually go on the ceiling. That guy will check if there's any leakage, any damp. They will go into the walls, check if the walls have any damp. They'll look at the electrical wiring. Is the electrical wiring okay? And if all of that is okay, then I can say that, okay, let me sign on the offer to purchase. However, if there's something that's missing, then I know that I can actually put that as another clause to actually decrease the price that we had actually agreed on.
As we're living in interesting times, right? Property law has slightly changed. There has been a couple of amendments.
Yeah.
Whereby you need to declare as the seller every defect on your property. Right? Now with your one that you mentioned is that if now, yes, we all know that you need to declare, it's called an inspection sheet.
Yeah.
An inspection sheet needs to be done before any sale.
Yeah.
And the buyer needs to be alerted about anything that then needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
Even though they were given ample time. With what you mentioned in terms of, yes, you did give the buyer ample time. But now the real question is that, did you declare? So now where does that leave you as the buyer? Is that, can I now fight or do I have a solid case?
Because now I'm thinking that, okay, if you're saying that I need to declare, what if I wasn't aware about that particular thing? So say for instance, I didn't declare that there's a leakage on the roof, right?
Yeah.
And because I wasn't living in that property, remember, this was for business purposes. I bought the property, I fixed it and I sold it. Especially right now because the raining season is actually going to be stopping. And then the seller or the owner only realizes after, right? August, September, that actually there's actually a leakage on the roof. Now the question is, how would that go about? Because I also wasn't aware about this problem. Would we then go back to the person that I bought the property for and say that, yo bro, you didn't actually declare this, and that actually falls onto me, then only falls onto the new owner? I mean, these are conversations that we need to have.
And another one, guys, is that there's one buyer that we know the gent, right? And here's the interesting part about his offer to purchase is that he signed an offer to purchase whereby the buyer wrote down expensive conditions. So what happened in this case again is that what happened is that, yes, the seller selling, right? The person came through, they asked for the offer to purchase, and they wrote down suspensive conditions. Yeah. Suspensive conditions. Now what suspensive condition is that I'd like to buy this property if you could fix XYZ. Now, sometimes we take that for granted because we as buyers want to get rid of the property. So what would then happen is that you took back that offer to purchase with the suspensive clause. You didn't really pay attention to them. You just signed and then you posted that I sold my property. I'll be making money. Now, when it's time to fix, you realize that, hey man, you know I'm going to spend a fortune when it comes to fixing such. Because I remember in that suspensive clause, they did mention that you need to rewire the whole property. Probably even plumbing.
Yeah, plumbing, they did say they wanted showers.
They wanted showers. Now the question is at what cost? Because someone can say that, guys, I need an extra 2 showers on the property. But now when you're looking at the practicality of your property, you can't get two showers with what you have.
Yeah.
So that means then you have to then build an additional structure on top of it. So now you're in a situation whereby you signed, as the owner, you signed to the suspensive conditions whereby the buyer gave you. Now the question is, what power do you have to fight it at that point in time?
You don't have any power, bro. So even if you take it to court, it's not gonna stand because you signed. You signed. There's nothing that you can do. All you just have to do is to say, "Oh well, let me put it in."
So
but
what
now,
happens?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
This is how I thought that guy could actually get out of the contract, right?
Yeah.
The owner or the new owner or the buyer,
Yeah.
right, wanted to get showers, right, where it was previously a garage.
Okay.
So if you can get an architect to say that that won't be permitted.
What am I?
If you get an architect that says that that won't be permitted, then you know that I'm actually out of the deal. Because now you do not want to actually put in something that the person is not actually going to be getting approved. Number 2, the place where she wanted it to be showers, it was actually a dry wall. So it
Yeah.
wasn't a normal wall.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense for you to have a shower where you have a dry wall because now the damp, what should happen with that? So those are the things that you need to actually be thinking about, that if you are actually going to be going out of the contract, luckily for this guy, if he really does think about it, he's actually to go out of the deal. Sure.
So, man, you know, when it comes to the offer to purchase, like, what I'm thinking right now is that a lot of people take this for granted, that it's just a contract that I need to then sign.
Yeah,
With
so
just-
that I can get the property.
What we have unfolded in a couple of minutes, you can clearly see that there's actually more that I need to then know when it comes to the offer to purchase. Level, as we wrap up, when it comes to the offer to purchase from your side, man, is there a situation that you found yourself in when it came to the offer to purchase? Because I remember I did find myself in a situation when it came to the offer to purchase.
Which situation did you find yourself in?
So here's the thing, right? When it came to the rental income,
Yeah.
I should have stated that I need to see it in black and white.
Yeah, you need the lease agreements.
I need the lease agreement attached
Yeah.
to the offer to purchase.
Yeah.
Because now, as investors, that's another big mistake that we do, is that we go into a deal listening to the agent saying that the rental income is, let's say it's 20,000. So I'm excited that I will be collecting 20,000. But what do I have that will protect me that's in black and white? I don't have anything. So ultimately, hence we're saying that the offer to purchase has so much power, but it's just that we lack this knowledge, that we are just taking it as a document whereby we just need to sign and give it back to the agent. Whereas it's not the case. When you get an offer to purchase, right, you need to understand what do you really want out of the property. And then you amend some of the things and give it back to the estate agent. Literally, it should be a back and forth, maybe 2 or 3 times, to make sure that you are covered. That's my biggest mistake that I did. I thought that I'll be getting $20,000 law, but now I do not have it in black and white. If they told me that we are collecting 20K and my expenses, I projected my expenses at 10K, so I was looking at a cash flow of $10,000 on a monthly basis. That's the main reason why I purchased that property as an investor.
Yeah.
So now my question for the property lawyer next week is that if I found myself in that situation and it was in black and white,
How do we go about it?